What's up, Spartans? This is JAG, aka Leonidas, your host today, your hostess mostest, coming at you live from 300. On this episode, we're going to be covering the balance update coming on June 4th. That's right, June 4th, and what it entails for the 8 cards you see right below there. So let's just jump into this. Alright, so what we're looking at is we're going to looking at buffs or debuffs for either, well, for these cards, the Spear Hut, or the Goblin Hut, the Spear Goblins, the Mega Knight, Barbarians, Royal Ghost, Wizard, Valkyrie, and Ice Golem. So, actually, another thing they just dropped is they're going to be doing monthly updates for Clash Royale now. And I believe it's on the first Monday of every single month. So expect that as well. It coincides with every new season, too. So let's just go and look a little bit at specifically what they are buffing and debuffing for these cards. Spear Goblins. Damage is going up 34%, but they are dropping their hit speed from 1.2 seconds to 1.7 seconds for the first attack. It's going to be a little slower. So you know what? Damage is going up a little bit. I would still consider this a card keep in your decks. Next, the Goblin Hut, the lifetime shorter from 60 to 50 seconds. This is a significant decrease. I would, you know what? If you're rocking this deck, you can try them out. Personally, I mean, if you got a good deck, keep them, but otherwise, I might consider dropping this as well. Next, the Mega Knight, jump spawn damage. You're getting a little bit of a buff and a debuff here. The buff is going to go into your jump and spawn damage. It's going to be an extra 23%, but the area damage, minus 7.5%. So if you rely on that counter where you drop him, crush a bunch of cards, do a bunch of damage, and then counter, might want to reconsider the card. But otherwise, that jump is going to be doing more damage. So if you can get him dropped a little bit further back and then jumping into it, probably do some decent damage. So you know what? It'd be worth it to keep him and see how he does in your decks. So that one, definitely a keep. Next, we're looking at the Barbarians. Hit speed's going to go a little faster from 1.5 seconds to 1.4. Personally, I thought these were good. Not even sure why they're getting a buff, but you know what? Works for the cards. Anyone who's using them, definite keep, obviously. Next, the Battle Ram. The only really change they're doing is, and which I think is actually a good change and was necessary, is that it can be knocked back now by the Log and the Barbarian Barrel, etc. with any of the other cards as well. I think this is crucial, especially if you need that little extra push. Battle Ram was pretty advantageous, especially in Clan Wars, when all the cards are kind of leveled down to the same level. So you know what? Battle Ram, I think this was a good debuff on it. Shouldn't really affect it. If you're rocking it, keep that card. Next, the Royal Ghost. Invisibility delay is increased from 1.2 seconds to 1.6 seconds. It was already a really good card. Slightly a little bit, actually too buffed, I think. So I think this will even it out a little. Still going to be a good card to keep in your deck, though. I would still rock the Royal Ghost if that is incorporated in your decks. Next, though, we're coming to the big 2 cards that I can see a lot of people using for their decks or incorporating if they've already have them leveled up higher enough or if they can pretty easily. The Wizard and the Valkyrie. The Wizard, area damage is going up by 2%. Not a huge amount. Nice little added benefit if you already have the Wizard. The main thing, though, is the area damage radius is going an extra 25%. That means he's going to be shooting a little bit farther, and it's going to be a little bit away from him. This is going to be, I think, a crucial buff for him, and you're going to see a lot more people using the Wizard as a result. Next, we move on to the Valkyrie, the other biggest buff in this update. Hit points are going up 7%. Valk's already a little bit of a beast, personally. Whenever I face her, I'm a little worried, but now this is actually going to make her a little bit more on par with the Knight. And her first attack is going to be a little bit quicker as well. Valk would also be another good option, especially alternative to the Knight. Got that splash area damage around her in the circle. Extra hit points now and a little bit faster attack. Definite keeper. And definite, if you're thinking of adding that kind of like a little bit of a tank card on the defensive side, I would consider the Valk, especially after this update. Now we're looking at the Ice Golem. Minus 5% on the hit points. Not a significant hit on it. Personally, this one could have went either way for me. It was being used quite a bit, so I can see them kind of why they're scaling back the hit points a little. Not a huge debuff, also keep it. So just summing up, Valkyrie, Wizard, look to incorporate in your deck, or you're going to be seeing this probably around when you're facing other people. Ice Golem, keep. Royal Ghost, keep. Battle Ram would still keep. Might be a little bit of a disadvantage now if you were using it, but shouldn't be too much. Barbarians, it's a nice little slight buff for them. I'd keep as well. Mega Knight can go either way. Not sure how it is. You guys test it out. I'll be testing out. We'll see what happens with it. Goblin Hut, lifetime. For me, that's an axe in the deck. 10 seconds isn't a huge amount, so it's still possible, but for me, that's like almost a sixth of the time that's cut out. I would almost axe that. So for me, that's an axe from the deck. You might want to think of a new one. Spear Goblins, though, I would consider still keeping. Do more damage. Hit speed's a little slower on the first attack. Not too much of an issue. Actually, if anything, I consider this a kind of a buff. So I would keep them as well. Anyways, that's just a quick check on the balance update. Hope you guys like this video. If you did, subscribe, like the video as well. Comment if anything you want to see in advance. Keep an eye out for updates whenever they drop. First of every month, I will be releasing them, so you can come back here. Thanks again, everybody. This is Leonidas signing off. Peace out.